Good morning, kids, and welcome back to another video of Fox Flicks on Connie X. Today we're going to be taking a look at a different future, or I guess past, of Digimon to see what it would be like if the Digimon Adventure crew could spirit Digivolve. Because if you remember, they had Crest, but they didn't have spirits, which didn't come around until, what, the 4th, 5th series? Either way, let's hop in and check it out.
Yeah, and Digimon Adventure, I would say, are the two most popular Digimon seasons that I see on my channel, with Tamers and the concept of Armor Digivolution coming up just below, which is why I was super excited when dedicated patron and supporter of both channels, Green ET, suggested that I do a video that fuses Digimon Adventure with Digimon Frontier and doesn't use custom art.
Oh. Well, yeah, because then you don't have to worry about money.
What is up, digital companions? My name is CanEx, and welcome back to this video that I'm recording for the second time because I lost the audio track on the first one. Yay!
Oh, I hate when that
Green
happens.
ET suggested to me that I should do a video exploring what it might look like if the Digimon Adventure cast, instead of getting Digimon partners, could spirit Digivolve like in Digimon Frontier, as if that gimmick was always the gimmick. Like I said, this is not going to be custom art because there are 8 Digidestined, each getting 3 forms each in this video, which would result in 24 pieces of custom art. Channel ain't making that much money. However, if you like this video concept and it does well, I will definitely consider maybe doing custom art for something like Digimon Adventure 02, which has a much smaller cast, or maybe, the channel will explode and we'll be able to do any custom art we want. If you want to support custom art videos, you can do that over on patreon.com/CanEx. Thank you very much. What's interesting about Spirit Digimon is they actually have a lot of the same archetypes as Armor Digimon. They ostensibly use a transformation device to get a kind of armored form, but with the personalities and ideals of each of the kids kind of merged in there, more so with Spirit Digimon. I'm going to be looking for much more humanoid forms for the human spirits, matching the physicality somewhat of the kid. So for example, if you think about Frontier, Zoe is a girl, so she gets feminine forms. JP is a fatter guy, so he gets to become more of an idealized version of what he wants to be. And Tommy is short, so he is short in the human spirit, but they subvert that with his beast spirit by making one of the biggest beast spirits for him. So I want to do something similar with the Adventure Cat.
I actually do kind of find that funny. It's like, tiny, but then massive beast. Like, come on, that's kind of cool.
The beast forms can be a lot more diverse, but still have to be animalistic and bestial. And for the fusion, I'm ideally looking for a form that looks like it could reasonably be a merging of the human and beast spirits that I've chosen. But if there's no Digimon that fits the bill, then we're going to go more for the thematic links, or at least some visual connection. I really did consider using Aegiacusmon's various forms for a lot of these, however I did resist, but in that vein, I'm not incredibly concerned about the levels of these Digimon, and I'm more looking for visual cohesion, as Spirit Digimon do exist outside of the level paradigm. However, where possible, I've tried to kind of keep it human spirits champion level, beast spirits ultimate level, fusion spirits mega level. But again, there'll be some mixy-matchy in there somewhere. Beginning with Tai, he has the crest of courage. He's the leader. He's the gogglehead. Courage is flames, and it's also related to dinosaurs. Specifically,
and let's not forget, it's literally the sun itself!
Agumon and its evolution line. I'm gonna dismiss Flamedramon as a possible contender here, only because I feel like it's a little bit too 02 linked, and maybe if the 02 kids Spirit Digivolve, they might just become their armors. So while I am gonna use Armor Digimon in this video, I'm gonna try and use Armor Digimon that were not in the OG canon of Adventure 02, and more come from like outside media. I'm also not gonna use Shadramon because I don't think it matches Tai too well. Where does the bug element come from? So that led me down a path of some interesting choices. First of all, regular Aegiacusmon, right? That would be fine. However, I would really focus in on that fire of friendship. No, I won't use a Gunimon. It'd be really funny to just use all the Frontier spirits here and be like, video done. But I did consider Meramon, and I like Meramon a lot. But if we're gonna go for a flame-encompassed body, let's pin that one back for a second. And then I got a brainwave. I thought, Tai, courage, flame, dinosaurs. I know where there's been a prominent humanoid flaming dinosaur Digimon recently. Beetle Gamamon. Okay, so Beetle Gamamon isn't the most armored-looking Digimon. You could say its skin is as tough as armor, but official art and its outings in Ghost Game depict it with fire-based attacks. And its reference book listing even says that its body turned red from the flames of its burning soul. Perfect. Soul, spirit, that's basically the same thing. I really love this for Tai, I think it works. I also like that Beetle Gamamon has the spike, which, kind of resembles Tai's spiky hair. I think that's fun for a thematic link. For Tai's beast spirit, it gets a little bit more difficult. We're gonna just use modern Digimon. I think Helugamon would be a really good fire beast spirit, but it does kind of lean more on the wolf side of things, being a Lugamon evolution. That's when it
I mean, it's literally a flaming wolf, so no go. You need something more, well, draconic.
Hit me that Flare Rizamon would be near perfect here. It has an armored headpiece, it is fully engulfed by flames, or the flames of courage in this instance, and it's a lizard, a reptile, a dinosaur. Nothing much more to say there, I just like it. The fusion then, difficult. What can fuse the dinosaur elements? Well, to me, I think it makes a lot of sense to use Raiwoludramon. Funnily enough, actually, Ancient Greymon would work quite well here. We can't use the Ancient Spirits of Frontier in the adventure continuity Spirit Digivolving, so Raiwoludramon I think is a pretty good second tier pick. Though, looking at Beetle Gamamon and Flarizamon, you really could combine those two guys into Agumon Bond of Courage, and I don't hate that! I don't think technically we can use a bond in this instance, because are we rewriting adventure continuity, in which case all of them are on the table, or are we not? Raiwoludramon!
Like I said at the beginning, and for myself, I'd say we're taking a look at the past, and in a different timeline. And so, we literally have every Digimon available, at least of modern day. Because if we would use Digimon Limited to only that came out in, Season 1, yeah, this video probably would not be possible.
Agumon Bond of Courage. Part of me really wants to use Bond of Courage, but let's say Raiwoludramon for now. Moving over to Matt, he has the Crest of Friendship. The themes there from Garurumon are Wolves, Blue Fire, possibly leaning into Metal Garurumon. We have like the Ice and Steel theme going on. And then if we look at the Digi-Egg of Friendship in 02, it manifests in, yes, a quadrupedal form, but also lightning in Raidramon. The overall theme being spikes, I guess. And yeah, I think Rinkmon could be a good human spirit evolution for Matt. Maybe you could say that Matt's harmonica became his ice skates. And I do think this kind of like dashing hero vibe that Rinkmon has going on also works quite well for Matt. And this is a super stretch, but the way that Matt's hair goes from Adventure to 02, going from slightly more spiky to longer, that could extrapolate into Rinkmon's hair being like spiky but long and heading towards the back. Looking at Matt from the side, I can see how that hair could become Rinkmon. For his Beast Spirit, I had a few contenders. First, like Toge Mogumon or any of the other more bestial friendship armors would work. However, a connection I really like is the fact that Runamon, the Pulsemon evolution, in its official art, very much to me seems to be intentionally referencing Raidramon. The posing of Runamon and Raidramon's official art is near identical, and given that Runamon is on the Impulse City Dim card, which released at the exact same time when the Vital Bracelet, rest in peace, launched alongside the Vmon Dim that was a special pre-order bonus for the yellow version, which had Raidramon on it, you can kind of see how maybe Runamon is meant to be a Raidramon reference. And I think Runamon for Matt works quite well. It's got spiky hair. Maybe that's just an anime trope overall. It's kind of annoying actually, because other Pulsemon evolutions like Bulkmon have yellow spiky hair almost, which would just be exactly like Matt, but for Runamon they went with white, although there's a little bit of yellow in there, we can count it. Using these two though is a near impossible task. However, it's become my new Kyokomon, I admit, but it's so versatile. Benryu-Lugamon Takamikazuchi is a blue spiky wolf that carries the Kazuchimon, one of the mega levels of Pulsemon's sword, in its mouth, meaning it's a lone blue wolf of fire merging the electric and thunder elements together, and if we have Runamon as a beast spirit and Rinkmon as a human spirit, I think that's pretty good. Two of the contenders I can...
Honestly, it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's probably going to be the best stretch we can do.
Considered though, much like for Tai, Gabumon Bond of Friendship, yeah, could work right here, especially because Gabumon Bond of Friendship apparently has a motorbike form, and Runamon motorbike is Piston. It all comes together kind of. Though a very recently revealed Digimon is Erlangmon, which is a DNA Digivolution of Cherubimon Virtue and Metal Garurumon from Digimon New Century. And it looks like a spirit Digimon. It looks like it should be part of the Lobomon family. Like a new transcendent form for Lobomon or something. I don't know. So that's a really strong contender, but I do really love my Fenrir-Lugamon Takamikazuchi compromise. Moving over to Izzy. He's a short guy. He's great at computers. He has the Crest of Knowledge, which hints at his great intellect. His intellect, his knowledge is a huge part of his story, and he's also got a partner that is bug themed. If we look at the Digi-Egg of Knowledge and its armors, they're all bug themed in some way. This to me created two distinct possibilities for Izzy in my mind. First of all, the human spirit, I wanted something that was a little bit shorter and reminiscent.
And of course, it needs to be some kind of electrical, yes, and the beast has to be some kind of bug.
Given that we do have a bug spirit already, two JBs. Which is when it struck me that Ballistamon might be a really fantastic human spirit. Or if you think Ballistamon isn't as humanoid as it could be, its evolution Atla Ballistamon looks even more man proportioned. But I like that Ballistamon's a little bit shorter feeling, just like Izzy. Also, it being a robotic bug really melds those two sides of Izzy's personality personality, his partner Tentamon, and his love of computers. Then, for the Beast Spirit, well again I'm thinking about modern Digimon, and I think Hoverespimon could be fun. At first this may seem a little bit out there, a little bit crazy, but the reason I'm choosing Hoverespimon is obviously again because of its whole technology theme. It's admittedly more of like an espionage agent, but that's fine. However, it is kind of like a UFO or a UFO hovercraft, which is why I would make the fused spirit Ebemon, the Area 51 alien robotic Digimon. This works in a couple of ways. First of all, bugs kind of feel like aliens that landed on Earth. They're really weird. Combine that with Hoverespimon and its kind of hovercraft UFO base, you get an alien, a UFO bug. In addition to that, Vadermon had a very big part in Izzy's story in the original adventure, and Vadermon even showed up in Adventure 2020, kind of in homage to that. And Ebemon is a de facto Vadermon evolution. It's part of its reference book. So that, the human spirit Ballistamon, the beast spirit Hoverespimon, and the fused spirit Ebemon is definitely way more out there, but it's one that I actually really adore. I think it works very well.
Like very heavy on the space thing. Hold on everyone, we'll be right back. And we're back, let's go.
However, if you want to move away from the alien aspect, even though again I think it's actually pretty well connected to Izzy, you could instead go for Ballistamon as the human spirit, Searchmon as the beast spirit, a knowledge armor Digivolution. I think that works pretty well. And then go into something like Shivamon for the fused spirit. However, Shivamon's just a bug with some armored elements. It kind of mixes Ballistamon and Searchmon, I guess, but I actually much prefer the cutesy Ballistamon, the cutesy Hoverespimon, and the weird alien Ebemon for Izzy. It's kind of fun.
Right.
Or, you know, throw a Tiger Vespimon on there too. That could work. I don't know. As always, we need more bugs, Bandai. Mimi has the crest of sincerity. The themes there being grass, femininity, but also kind of like surprising power. Palmon becoming Togemon, but then Lilymon emerging from the flower, but still being more strong than Togemon. And also, Mimi's kind of dressed like a cute cowboy, so it was very tempting to give her Magna Kidmon, I can't lie. But for a human spirit, I settled on Kabukimon. It's a very humanoid, but still sort of flowery form, and obviously it's got a Japanese theme, which is from the Digi-Egg of Sincerity. I'm not really sure where that comes from in origin. Mimi isn't one of the more traditionally Japanese members of the original 8 Digi-Destiny. I mean, of course, they're all Japanese, but Mimi's always flying off to, like, Hawaii in the USA. I think out of the girls, Sora is probably the most traditionally Japanese of the bunch, but still, that is a theme of the Digi-Egg of Sincerity, so I'm okay with it here. I do also, however, love the idea of using Lilamon as a human spirit. It's a little bit more pared back than Lilymon to me. I always feel like Lilamon could Digivolve into Lilymon. I think I've discussed it before. But, of course, Lilamon is the other pre-evolution of Rosemon from Digimon Data Squad, meaning that Lilymon and Lilamon share an anime mega. So Lilamon being referenced in that manner, I know it's an ultimate level, but I think it's fine, as Mimi's human spirit could also work very nicely. For a beast spirit, a few things enter my mind. One that I'm really tempted by is Entmon. It visually lines up quite well to Petaldramon, which is the would-be spirit from Frontier. I do like that a lot, but Entmon is a little bit too evil in my opinion. However, put a pin in that for a second, because the fusion spirit I think can go one.
Now hold on, if that could actually be something like this that was maybe like a bit greener and didn't look like it was, you know, rotting with every step, then maybe...
One of 3 ways. The first way is Bloom Lordmon. It works with Lilamon, but especially Kabukimon and kind of any beast plant Digimon. However, one of the prevos in the VPETs for Bloom Lordmon is Teropiamon, which would be another fantastic beast spirit. Refleximon just works if you use the feminine form of Lilamon, but with Teropiamon being a more kind of creepy, bestial, out there plant Digimon, Refleximon being based on corpse flowers, that could work. And as much as I hate to use it, Hydramon works kind of in multiple ways. If we go Kabukimon and Teropiamon, Hydramon works. If we go Kabukimon Entmon, Hydramon works fantastically, and the same for Lilamon and Entmon in my opinion. So for me, I am kind of stuck between Refleximon and Hydramon. I don't love using Hydramon in these videos just because of what's going on there, but I do think potentially Kabukimon...
You make the joke way too much.
Entmon, Hydramon might be one of the better Frontier-style human-beast fusion ideas. Also, I noticed this in post Future Khan here, but doesn't Lilamon's headpiece kind of resemble Mimi's cowboy hat? Fun connection. Sora, the Crest of Love, weirdly has some...
I mean, he's right, it does resemble it. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's not too big. It's like just a little...
fire going on with Birdramon and Garudamon and even Phoenixmon to an extent, though that avian theme also connects to the wind. Sora herself also has a love of flower arranging and is often seen in traditional Japanese garb. Folding that together was difficult, but I think I like what I came up with. First of all, her human spirit will be Harpymon. Now yes, Harpymon is a light armor, not a love armor. Looking at all the love armors, they're definitely more animalistic than they are humanoid. And out of all of the light armor Digimon, Harpymon is definitely the most bird-like. And I think intentionally evokes Sylphimon, the Gatomon, and Aquilamon DNA Digivolution. Yoli and Sora are connected, which in turn means Sora and Kari are connected. They were on the same team together, and Yoli and Kari, their Digimon make Sylphimon.
Why did they look so pissed off at that scene? Did y'all see that? They literally look like they were pissed off at someone.
Sylphimon and Yoli has the crest of love. That kind of triangle of Kari, Yoli, and Sora. I can see Harpymon being a good result of that connection. For the Beast Spirit, I struggled more. Didn't want to use any of the Beomon line. Didn't want to use Aquilamon because that's so intrinsically connected to Yoli. Then I thought about Sora, Firebirds, traditional Japanese garb. This video is going to make a small minority of people that can't handle there just being a limited amount of Digimon probably a little heated. Phototherapy. I do think Baraimon would work quite well here. Now, yes, it is quite humanoid, but if Sora is kind of one of our Zoe equivalents in Adventure, Kazemon and Shatumon were both quite humanoid, even though Shatumon was supposed to be a beast spirit. Same could be true of Baraimon. Of course, if you don't like that, you can go with pretty much any bird Digimon here. Kokatorimon, I don't care. I just think Baraimon's a bit different. And for the fusion, well, Baraimon has an evolution line that ends up in Chronomon Holy Mode, and I do think Chronomon Holy Mode is a nice merging of Harpymon and Baraimon conceptually when you look at it visually. White feathers and a chicken. But another good pick could be Shongpongmon from Digimon New Century. It's a little bit more weird, but it's a big bird slash fish billowing out with like smoke and feathers. I think that could work too. You consider Harpymon being all the white elements and Baraimon kind of being the East Asian traditional influence. Admittedly, Shongpongmon of course being Chinese and Baraimon being more Japanese, but there's still a thematic connection you could work on there. Over to Joe, the crest of reliability, which has a very
let's see what you got for Joe.
Very mismatched theme. Gomamon and potentially Plesiomon, who at one time or another is/was a Gomamon Mega, are very much tied to the water, marching fishes for example. However, once it starts digivolving into Ikakumon, Zudomon, and Vikemon, it gains much more of an ice, thunder, and furry element, which really divides me on how to approach Joe. However, if we look at Digimon Adventure 02, Submarimon using the Digi-Egg of Reliability becomes an aquatic form, a vehicle. So I'm kind of going to go two ways with this. The first one, if we have the opportunity to use the water element with a male human, Splashmon. I've been wanting to use it as a spirit Digimon for forever. This is my opportunity, and it has Darkness Mode, which is its perfect beast spirit. Splashmon and Splashmon Darkness Mode, I've talked about this a million times, I did a whole video on it. They feel like spirit Digimon, like lost spirit Digimon. They don't lend themselves super hardcore to a mega level or equivalent Digimon that could be their fusion spirit. I think Regalicusmon is a fun pick, a kind of dark pirate crustacean Digimon. There is also of course Neptunemon, which is like half man, half creature, kind of works. Or you could just go with Splashmon Darkness Mode Drippins, which is just like Popeye Splashmon. If we want to move away a little bit from the obvious pick of Splashmon and Darkness Mode, however, I think another good pick could be, and there's a little out there, first of all, giving Joe Gorillamon as his human reliability spirit. It's an upstood, white-furred creature with a little bit of armor or weaponry going on, evoking things like Ikakumon and Vikemon. I would then have its beast spirit be Commandomon. Now, Commandomon is a champion normally, however, it being a furred, white, often vehicle Digimon, I think is a great parallel to Submarimon in 02 and how the Digi-Egg of Reliability manifests, and indeed how Joe...
Okay, I think with this one, I would have gone with a bit more of sticking to the aquatic nature, like picking Digimon that would either be seen as, you know, always in the sea, or at least from the deep sea.
Would ride Ikakumon sometimes. From there, the fusion, well, we could use Frozomon, which looks kind of like Commandomon. It doesn't really fuse Gorillamon and Commandomon that well, but I still like it. Or you could go with Skullmamon. It loses all its fur, but it's very much related to ice and like mammoths that were frozen in ice and things like that. And Mammon itself being a furry Digimon it could digivolve from. Or a really weird out there pick could be Rasenmon, which is again covered in fur and has these kind of drills or horns, which feel similar to the horns of Ikakumon and Zudomon. Digivolve. I do think there's something really nice in using Commandamon and Frozomon for Joe. However, of course, as he is the main one tied to water, Splashmon in its darkness mode probably should be here. Moving over to TK, he has the Crest of Hope, which connects initially to kind of like Holy Digimon in 02 constellations and horse adjacent forms. He's also the youngest of the group in Adventure, I think, or at least he's roughly the same age as Kari, and is very diminutive. He's the Tommy of the season, which is why it's a no-brainer that the recently revealed Digimon Luxmon should be his human spirit. To me, when I first saw Luxmon, it looked like TK in Angemon cosplay, or Pidomon cosplay, I guess. His Beast Spirit got a little bit more difficult. I think a pick I like is Gargoylemon. It's a bestial form. I've actually used it as a human spirit before. I think it also works as a beast spirit. However, if you want to go really beastly with it, Gargoylemon apparently can fall and become Manticoremon, which I think is great. Manticoremon being this like corrupted Gargoylemon, I think is fun for a beast spirit when they tend to be more aggressive as beast spirits. And it opens up some more options for our fused spirit. For example, we could use Lucemon Fall Down mode, the white wing of Luxmon and the darkness of Manticoremon. Or whether we use Gargoylemon or Manticoremon, a really obvious pick, I think, with their slashing claws and Luxmon folded in, could be Slash Angemon. It would put an Angemon into TK spirit forms, and its very blue coloration is similar to the Vmon underbody of Gargoylemon and kind of Manticoremon. So I quite like that. And finally, we end on Kari. She has the Crest of Light, which is a light spirit. Let's just use Lobomon. I'm kidding. Again, we have a very angelic theme, though also it folds in more beast-like themes too, and kind of like cats, I guess, with Gatomon and Magnadramon. So that was an interesting thing that I thought about. And in 02, with Nefertimon, there's an Egyptian theme too. For Kari's human spirit, bear in mind this is Kari from season 1 and she's still short, I think it would be perfect to use Systemon Blanc here. It's a tiny little semi-holy humanoid-looking Digimon. And the pink rabbit that it wears on its head really, to me, does actually remind me of the pink of Magnadramon. While, of course, Magnadramon isn't a rabbit, with these kind of like wings and feathers coming off it, feels incredibly similar. The beast spirit, then, we're looking for a quadruped. I think Hippogriffamon works well. While, again, not overtly holy, it looks very holy with its white wings and white feathers. And its quadrupedal nature matches up nicely to Nefertimon. For their fusion, though, it's kind of all bets are off. My first thought, I went to Archangel. It's a new Archangel Digimon. It's not an Angelwomon, but as we know with lovely Angemon, it doesn't need to be an Angelwomon to be feminine. And it kind of feels like it works for Hippogriffamon and Systemon Blanc, though speaking of lovely Angemon, that would work great too. And given that Kari has brunette hair, that could be a connection. So I will say, as I've talked about hair a lot this time, it is interesting how, and I think someone will have to comment on one of my videos talking about this. I can't find you to track you down, I'm sorry, but full credit for you coming up with this and talking about this. But it is interesting how all the hair in Frontier seems to change colour. I'm not sure whether I need to stick with that as an actual theme. If you look at like a Gunimon having much more blonde hair in comparison to Sequoia's brunette hair, it's something that you could interpret yourself at home. However, I just like the idea that lovely Angemon has similar hair to Kari. I think it's actually supposed to be similar hair to Miki from Rear Eyes. And one final pick, if we are going to do that kind of like brunettes becoming blonde theme, is Venusmon. And yeah, Systemon Blanc plus Hippogriffamon. There's a white bird, a dove of peace that Venusmon has. Yeah, Venusmon actually could work really well as a fused spirit. But anyway, that is it. My ideas, thanks to Green ET over on patreon.com/KhanEX, as to what might happen if the Digimon Adventure Kids could spirit Digivolve using existing Digimon. Like I say, if you want to see more custom art videos, go over to patreon.com/KhanEX, like my Sovereign ZDK14. This video, I just think logistically could not be a custom art video. There's so much stuff I've got to pay for at the moment. Life is crazy, let's just put it that way. But I think if this video does well, we could definitely pick it up as custom art in future if enough of you want to see it. And I think this still actually really works format-wise without custom Digimon. I think a lot of the fun of these videos is not just inventing Digimon, but seeing how existing Digimon fit into these concepts. Especially, it seems recently, we have a lot of Digimon in the past like 3 years that specifically work for this concept. Enrologamon, Mikazuchi, Luxmon. They didn't exist before, and that means that because they...
Hold on, let me just go ahead and end off today's video. If y'all want to know what else Colin is saying, remember to check out his remember to check out his original video. Link will be in the description below. And I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below. And I'll see all you kids next time when we flick on. Peace out.